Ligandrol, LGD-4033. So, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. It is the mass gainer of the SARM world, or the bulking SARM. And before I get into that, I would like to say I have no medical training. I am not a chemist. I am not a doctor. I'm not your doctor, nor do I pretend to be a doctor. I do not recommend the use of any substances, legal or illegal, and this video is entirely for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please do not do anything I reference in these videos. Okay, so Ligandrol does not convert into estrogen, nor does any SARM. This is really big to note because idiots who take these SARMs will not take an estrogen base. They'll go 12 weeks onto a SARM cycle and have no estrogen in their body and be like, why did I stop gaining mass? And why do I have no erections anymore? Why is my sex drive gone? It's because you have no estrogen. And oftentimes I would even equate the fact that LGD doesn't completely fulfill the roles of testosterone as well. So this is where maybe a testosterone base would come in as well. Its half-life is considered to be 24 to 36 hours. I cannot verify this, but it has been studied pretty thoroughly, so this one is a little bit more concrete when compared to S23 or YK11. It is primarily available in oral and injectable. I believe I've heard of it being transdermal, and theoretically it should be available, able to be created in a transdermal solution. Lots of beginners start out with 10 milligrams. I cannot recommend this, however, and I do not think the clinical studies actually use 10 milligrams. I think they use less than this. Also, they are not studying it for muscle, for bodybuilder effects or anything like that. They're studying this for people who actually need it, people with degenerative diseases and women with, who are postmenopausal and such. This is actually one of the better well-studied SARMs. The one that is the most well-studied is actually Austrian, which I'll talk about in a later video. Side effects include, but are not limited to, acne, deeper voice, possibly for women, crashed endogenous production or limited endogenous production, liver stress, blood thickening, left ventricular hypertrophy, high bad cholesterol, low good cholesterol, and overall masculinization for women, as well as the possible renal problems with people who have higher blood pressure from blood thickening when they're on these sort of things. Now, technically, this is a shorter list than steroids, but that could just be because this is way less studied than most steroids, and it could have the same amount of side effects or even worse side effects. And I just want to make that clear because a lot of people say that SARMs are inherently safer than steroids. For all we know, it could just be the side effects, but all of these side effects could be twice as likely as a steroid. So I just want to make that clear when it comes to things like Ligandrol and Austrian and things like that. I've heard of people using Ligandrol. I know some people who have used it. They've seen decent effects from it. There is also the problem with the fact that SARMs are mainly counterfeit, at least according to some studies quite a few years ago, and meaning that they contained either no SARMs, a little bit of the SARM, too much of the SARM, or what was often common was a completely different substance in it inside. Completely. And this can be due to the fact that the companies do not continually test their batches, and that's why it's important to find companies that do when people are trying to research for, actual clinical trials. I'm not saying people should do this. I don't want people to do this. And also, it's really important to note that a lot of the time they were laced with things like pro-hormones, or at least that was the theory, because people were getting extreme liver damage, and I mean stuff the likes of Superdrol would cause. I might talk about Superdrol in my steroid series, since it's technically just a steroid, and they called it a pro-hormone just because it had a thing attached to it to get cleaved off. But anyway, that is pretty much what I'm going to say about Ligandrol. I cannot really speak to its effects too greatly because I've never taken it, obviously. And the people I know who have taken it are, they experience moderate results. It's a SARM. That's pretty much what I can tell you. And the people that I did know that took it always used an estrogen base. Now, whether that means they took someone's hormonal birth control, which they shouldn't have done, or they took an injectable testosterone on top of this, I don't know, but they had some form of estrogen in their body so that they didn't have crashed estrogen and extreme side effects for their heart and cardioprotective. So they had the effects of estrogen for cardioprotective effects and neuroprotective effects. That is going to be it. So if you guys would like me to continue doing the SARM videos, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below on things you'd like me to talk about in other videos. Subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell for obviously notifications on when my videos come out. And if you're on Rumble, please follow my channel. Hit the Rumble button and comment down below. I will see you guys in the next video. And remember to keep your shoulders back and down when you lift.